Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucky, joined, as always, by the boy.
Hey!
This is the Two Nerds Podcast.
It is.
And what better day than this most holy of holidays that this podcast is going up on?
Festivus?
To talk about Paladins.
Do you want me to fucking play a Festivus Paladin? I will.
I'm speaking of the 24th of December, which is the 24th of DnD December.
That's true.
I wish I had a musical sting to play.
We happen to be recording this on December the 23rd, so I just went in for that Festivus joke.
Yeah, no,
it's right there.
It is. It's right there. Hi, you may have met us previously on our fucking lots of podcasts.
So many.
Here we're talking today about the Dungeons & Dragons class Paladin.
It's a good class, Brent.
It's so solid. Paladin's probably one of my favorite classes. My biggest complaint about it is that the oaths don't add as much as other subclasses do for other classes. But we'll get into that in just a minute. Let's talk about the Paladin and it's at its base. They've got a lot of really great abilities.
That's the thing. You're right that the oath is much more of like a soupçon. It's a little bit of it's a layer of flavor on top of the chassis, but that's because unlike fighter, which is much more of a skeleton on which you put your fighter by picking what kind of fighter you want to be, this is very much you're playing a paladin. Mm-hmm. What kind of paladin do you want to be? It's a different emphasis. The base chassis of the class is much more robust than fighter, for instance.
Yeah. I like Paladin a lot.
It's a really good fucking class, dude.
It is really solid. Lay on hands is nice. Being able to get a little side healing on people.
And it's not even side healing. It starts out side healing, but it's one of those abilities that they designed to scale really well into high levels. Because it honestly is the most irrelevant at first level. But after first level, lay on hands is never irrelevant. It's always a nice, healthy pool of healing for you or somebody else. Yep. You can't be the main hero with it, obviously, but it is a healthy chunk. It is something that, as a DM of many paladins, I have to take into account.
Divine Smite also, that's just phenomenal game design. That is player enjoyment first.
You know what? One of the fun things I love is that it's always been, the player. We've always sort of known the player, picks whether or not they smite after they roll. Because I haven't read it in a long time, but I realized upon rereading it, no, you can only even smite if you hit anyway.
Yeah. The gods do not want to waste the paladin's time. Or maybe vice versa.
That's good game design.
Yeah, it's just fun.
It's fun, and its ability to stack up with crit hits is great. There is one piece of weird design with how the smite works that I just noticed, because while I've DM'd a couple paladins, I have never DM'd one high enough level for this to be a thing until the campaign I'm going to be DMing soon. And that's that it's intentionally designed, and I looked this up, this is legitimately intentionally the design, that using the highest level spell slot a paladin gets, which is 5th level spells, to smite, grants you no additional benefit from using a 4th level spell slot. I don't know why. It's one additional D8 of damage. It's not like it's game breaking. I don't know why that specifically was the line they drew.
I would guess it's more to encourage you to use your 5th level spells.
For spells?
Yeah.
As opposed to just smite. Everybody.
And I don't know, critting on a 10d8 is nicer than 12, I guess. I'm not sure.
Who knows?
But
because you still get 12 if they're like a fiend. You get 6 if you get one more if it's a fiend or undead. But it's great game design with that one baffling little hook in it that I can't figure out why it was there. Why make that decision?
Strange, yeah.
I think maybe it listed with a cap in the first place because that way it prevents you from like multi-classing into some wacky smite with a cleric 7th level spell slot cheese. Like, you couldn't do way fucking better shit with a 7th level spell slot than just Smite. But whatever.
Yeah. You mentioned this, and I mentioned this also about Smite being great because you don't use a resource unless it's actually worth a damn. That was a chief sin of 4th edition, where there are a lot of powers where you're like, I'm going to use this power.
I missed.
Right, well, it doesn't do anything. Cool, I can't do that again.
Yeah, one of the things about 5th edition spells is some of them are still like that.
Yeah, and that's, I mean...
Like, most notably, and I agree that it should be, but, like, most notably, it's happened like, twice in the most recent session you DM'd. Disintegrate is a great example of that.
As a game designer, I would have Disintegrate save for half.
I mean, I get why it doesn't.
I do, too.
For fluff reasons, it's a thin little green ray. If they dodge it, they dodge it.
But you know what?
If you dodge the Avada Kedavra, you dodge the Avada Kedavra.
Sure, but, like, you're the one who's deciding it's a thin little green ray. I don't feel like it does that much more damage.
I don't feel like the designers of 5th edition were the ones who made that call. I feel like the Grognards Immemorial were the ones who made that call. And they would have been upsetty about it being changed.
That is...
It's a very iconic spell.
That is fair. But, like, that's fine. You know, sometimes you make save or suck spells.
There are times for that risk.
Yeah.
There are times for, having to put up some risk for your resources. Such a central mechanic as the Smite, which is, to be honest, usually where most of your Paladin spell slots are going to go,
yeah,
is not at the time. It's really good design that they don't make you risk that.
Yeah. I'm just kind of going through stuff here again. It's been so long.
When they start off, they basically get like a little watered down fighter energy.
Yeah, they get some fighting styles. You get your extra attacks. You get your aura.
The auras are so good. For my money, they wait until a little late to scale up. Because they're like 10 feet. The Paladin gets several auras throughout their level up that give them abilities like some people within 10 feet of you get these benefits. Mm-hmm. And certain Paladin oaths add additional auras on top, which is really cool design. But they're only 10 feet, which is of okay use in your average D&D combat. It usually lets you, it lets you protect the off tank.
Yeah.
They scale up to 30 feet at 18th level, which is really cool. But I'm going to be honest, by 18th level, the Paladin's auras don't matter anymore. Like, shit has gotten popping off crazy by 18th level.
I think it's one of those things where the Paladin's aura at 18th level is either not going to matter or it fucking is.
Yeah, some of those auras when they scale up to 30 feet are
well,
ridiculous.
in those situations where they do what they're supposed to do, it's like, oh, thank God for the Paladin's aura.
Yeah, like +5 to all saves or whatever.
So, like, Paladins get most of their good shit through, their spells, their smites.
And they have a decent spell list, too.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. They're only half casters, but still, like, it's a good spell list. I remember enjoying a lot about it.
It really bears repeating how good the base class is, because I'm gonna be honest, some of the oaths are a little underwhelming, and on a different class I would be much more upset about that, but because Paladin is so good by itself, I don't mind it so much.
Paladin is like, core Paladin is such a great babysitter, because they are by themselves able to do so much. No, don't die. Okay.
They're great for like if you have less than 4 players. Yeah. It's a great tool for that.
And if you have more than 4 players, or 4 players exactly, it's still a really great addition to the party.
I remember there is was he protection?
I honestly don't know.
I can't remember what kind of paladin he was. He might have been a devotion paladin. In a campaign that I DM'd where I literally lost count of the number of cool, big, awesome crits that he just completely deflated that one of my monsters was going to do by going, no, but they missed though. Yeah.
Because they're in my aura.
Yeah. They're in my aura. Fuck you. How about that?
So, speaking of those oaths, let's get to talking about them. We start with the Ancients. I've been attracted to this one for a while, but I feel like flavor-wise, Like, you can't just slap this on any paladin. You kind of want to go out intending to make a paladin of the ancients.
This is your other half of... This is like... If you could make a better druid with a nature cleric, you can also kind of make a better druid with a nature paladin.
I find they also have a lot of overlap with Arcana cleric.
Yeah, they're similar.
They've got a lot of banishment-esque abilities and...
Well, it makes sense, because in terms of it's about, oh, you're not from this reality. Well, fuck off! Make the prime material great again, get back to your home plane. Now I want to play a nature paladin.
Good luck finding a DM. They're cool. Did you have anything else specific to say about them?
They're fine. They have the best capstone.
Yeah, I agree. It's powerful.
Of all the things. The only one who gets close is Redemption, just because of the way it functions. But Elder Champion, of all the capstones, the 20th level capstones, it's the best. Hands down. You win a fight.
You regain 10 hit points at the start of each of your turns. If you cast a Paladin spell at the time of one action, you can cast it using your bonus action instead. And enemy creatures in 10 feet of you have disadvantage on saves against your Paladin spells and Channel Divinity options. For a minute.
Yeah, you win. You win this fight. Yeah. Whatever this fight is, you win it. There are others that also are really good. One of them notably gives like some really good resistances and stuff, and we'll get to that when we get to that. But I think it's not really a contest for me that they have the best capstone.
It's strong. I'm not going to argue with that. Next we have the Conquest Paladin, which you have your enemies before you. Hear the lamentations of their women.
And it does that well.
Yeah.
I DM'd a Conquest Paladin, and he drove his enemies before them and heard the lamentations of many, everyone, really.
Everyone celebrated him. What are you talking about? He was fantastic.
Guess who was playing him?
At the same time, I love their spell list, actually. Let me lead with that. Armor of Agathis is great. Spiritual Weapon, fantastic. 17th level, you get Cloud Kill.
And Dominate Person, which, while you guys were able to get loose of it real easily, I had an enemy cast it recently in a game I was DMing, and it's a powerful spell.
Oh, yeah. It's what you want out of Bestow Curse. Bestow Curse is kind of meh. Bestow Curse is one of those like illusion spells where you better hope your GM is fucking cooperating.
I don't know. I've been on the other end of some debuff mages. Bestow Curse can be real effective.
It can be. I think like Bane and stuff like that is better, but Bestow Curse is like
I think
crappy,
Bane is a better version of Bestow
It's
Curse.
the crappy,
That's a better way of
I don't know, what do you want to do with it kind of spell? And I'm like, give me some fucking direction here. But
Guided Strike, it should be noted, is an excellent feature to get early on in the class, because with 5th edition Banded Accuracy, Guided Strike means you hit. You make an attack roll after you roll, but before the DM says if you hit, you can decide once a day, or once a short rest, Channel Divinity comes back on a short rest.
And I think you get a couple of uses of it, too.
No, Paladins get one a day.
They only get the one? Oh.
Yeah. I think Clerics might get more than one.
Clerics, get one more.
I think Paladins get one. Per short rest, but once a short rest, you just get plus 10 to hit. For free. Unlike,
True Strike?
True Strike. That's exactly what I was going to say. True Strike is so awful in 5th edition.
It's so shit.
I've already house ruled any campaign I DM. True Strike is a bonus action.
Please patch
because that makes it more worth taking ever.
Yeah. Let's not get into Mordenkainen's sword while we're here.
But other features in Conquest are good, but otherwise you've kind of nailed it.
Yeah, they've got some good barbarian energy too,
which is nice,
especially with their capstone. We have also here the Crown, which reads like "For the King" or "The Emperor," if you prefer. I think it's just like a. I've written down here less divine, and I don't think that's quite accurate, but it's less...
You have also written lawful more than good, and that's much more accurate.
Yeah.
This is your divine bodyguard.
Yeah.
They have some really good heavy tanking features. A devotion paladin, more law than good.
Well, this is Crown.
Or, Crown paladin, But it has... law is its top tenant. We should maybe have been noting... All of the paladins subclasses, with some exceptions, and they are notable in that they are exceptions, come with tenets that as a character you are expected to uphold lest there be consequences.
Let me slide into the DMs of this conversation real quick here. That is what we call the Grognard waiver. You are more than welcome to play a paladin however the fuck you want. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's a box in the book. The tenets you are supposed to follow is there if you want a bit more. If your DM wants to make your paladin fall.
There are uses for that.
Sure, and I think it's a great character start
That has become a meme of young Grognards make paladins fall. And I do that too, so I'm not just mocking you. But there is a use for the kind of paladin who follows a deity who has very strict fucking rules.
Well, I think largely. Now, I'm not saying this is. I'm talking 60-40 here. I believe we're in an era of role-playing where more people want to play the paladin who is doing their best, or, if it pertains more accurately, their worst. Who wants to uphold these tenets. Not, I want the power of a paladin, but I want to act like a shithead.
But that's the thing. If you want that, even in 5th edition, there are kinds of paladins who basically say your literal job, is to act like the biggest possible shithead. There is a version of paladin. There's one that's worse. Mm-hmm. Have you read the description on treachery? It is literally just be the biggest possible dick at all times.
Yeah.
But I like that those are still there, even if they're not as hard-coded into the rules as they used to be.
Because it's guidance, It gives you a really firm guideline. Because you say, I'm a nature domain cleric, and you're like, all right, who's your god? If you don't have a pre-planned pantheon, I don't know.
You still have the tenets to be like, how does a nature domain cleric get down, as it were?
Yeah. Am I okay with people eating plants, or are they not allowed to even eat that?
Am I going to go, is it full Poison Ivy style? Is that what we're doing today?
Yeah, what is going on here, exactly? So it's nice that paladins, who are, in the story of the game, ironically, like, more devoted to their deities, or more a champion of their deities, than clerics, that they have these hard set tenets.
And as a DM, I like having the tool there to look at the paladin and go, all right, bro, you can do this, but there's going to be consequences.
Sure.
I'm not looking for that. I'm not like, because I'm the DM. I'm God. If I say you fall, you fall. I don't need a fucking excuse. So it's not like I have to have an excuse for it. It's just, it's nice to have that tool there as a guidance.
Sure. It helps both player and DM make sure that they're still playing the character, and it offers opportunities for different avenues of storytelling. If a paladin were to stray from being a paladin of the crown and starts defying their king or emperor or whatever,
then maybe instead of falling, they just change oaths.
Yeah, maybe they find their deity is more important and become redemption or something.
Yeah, it's an excellent thing that's there. But anyway,
we're looking at the Paladin of the Crown.
At the Crown,
still,
yeah.
I believe, yeah. Law. We've got a lot of ordering people around. Compelled duel, zone of truth, Gesh.
They have a really good way of. They have a couple really good ways of just no. We're fighting. You and me. We're fighting right now. Mm-hmm. We're fighting like men.
You're going over there and you're doing this thing, but it's presented way more in the way of, the law and order and upholding peace than, say, the Conqueror, who will tell you to go do something, but it's because you're fucking scared of him.
It's because you fear him more than the enemy.
Do you want to go over the Exalted Champion?
In terms of the capstones, I think it's, for me, for the purposes of this podcast, I would only really bother going over them in detail if they were really good or really shit.
I think this is a solid one.
Yeah.
Enough to say about that. Devotion. Devotion
is your paladin.
Yeah, they're the cleric paladin. They're the what you would probably expect minus a horse.
I never fucking got the horse.
Knights need horses.
Oh, that's not in D&D. You're usually in an underground lair. The
horse
is useless.
I know. That's why they turned it into a spell, which is a paladin spell for all paladins. Get horse.
And I have done lots of good work on Get Horse.
I think we figured it out. Why else would you go to Paladin College if not for a horse?
No! What the fuck? I was not expecting that!
Welcome to the Two Nerds podcast. Or just every now and then we fucking crack open a chest.
What the fuck? I can't... talk more. I need a second for that.
We got some good protection spells. You got communion stuff. You got you turn away the unholy.
It's nice that they get they're the one kind of paladin that gets turned undead.
Yeah. Yeah, fiends are undead. They combine it too with fiends, and that's kind of cool. That'd be really fucking cool, actually. Just playing that classic tropey paladin.
Actually, you know what? This reminds me of something I want to talk about in the base class. I kind of I understand, first off, and I don't disagree. Secondly, but I kind of don't like that they made Detect Evil only work on outsiders. I get why. But it makes it infinitely less useful as a feature.
I don't know about infinitely, but...
It's never come up, and I've DM'd 2 very long campaigns. For
No, we used it a lot.
Did you really?
Yeah, when we were tracking some, especially the Fiendish Taint.
Oh, that's true.
In fact, I believe that's why our dear paladin friend JP busted into the underground brewery
it's because...
to kill a fucking man because he sensed the taint.
I'm going to be honest with you. Part of the reason that was the storyline is because I had DM'd one campaign for a paladin that basically never came up.
Oh.
So
That motherfucker didn't give a shit about fiends.
Nope. So I intentionally gave a reason for Detect Evil to work, to be something that matters. And it did work out exactly how I wanted.
Yeah.
Where I got the chance to oh yeah, this guy scans as he scans as smite approved from your god. Do it. Ha! You did it, you fool.
Now, if you would have rather have given Xanthos, detect where the cute boy's at, I would use that shit all the time.
He knew.
Yeah, they're all right here.
Points at self.
Let's move on to heroism.
This one is not, honestly, oftentimes about the Unearthed Arcana ones, I will say, this one feels like it's not done. No, this is fine, actually.
Yeah.
This is perfectly well done. I don't know. And unlike a lot of Unearthed Arcanas, I can't even see, like, what this may be turned into as a final product.
It's similar to a couple of others, but not enough that, like, we've got 500 cleric subclasses that have overlap, and many of them are published. Fuck off with this. Put it in a book, you cowards.
But yeah, this is fine. This is well balanced. It's well made. It's not my favorite or anything, but
it reminds me of the 4th edition Warlord, the Paladin version of that.
Really? I didn't notice a way to get other people to attack for you.
Not specifically attacking for you, but Guiding Bolt is one of their Paladin spells.
I guess, but that's also just good DPS.
Sure, but like it gives you that advantage.
For me, the 4th edition Warlord is get other people to attack for you, the class. Like that is its central feature to me.
Everything except for that.
Oh, okay.
And you got some stuff in there with like Conjure Volley. You can fluff that as people fighting for you. I don't know.
For me, it's it is much more the
haste.
It's much more the running, jumping, climbing trees Paladins, the champion fighter of Paladins.
Sure. I think it's really solid. It's not anything crazy. And honestly, their Sacred Oath Living Myth thing, the 20th level thing, is it's okay. It's good.
It's really good for, like, it's really fucking good for one of the specific deities in my setting who has all the Paladins I've DM'd for so far. Living Myth is a great capstone for a Paladin of that deity. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, it's just fine.
It's fine. I think the other abilities are stronger, though. So
it's very much it's not a non-combat ability because it has
it's got the beautiful saving throw thing.
It's got the beautiful saving throw thing, and just for 10 minutes you don't miss.
You don't miss, and if you have a reaction to use, you save. Which is pretty good. It's underwhelming. It's not like bombastic. Like you glow and grow wings and start shooting lasers out of your eyes.
Nope, you're just really fucking good at being a paladin. Oathbreaker is next.
Oathbreaker is next. I haven't...
It is one of the ones where I don't want to have to follow tenets. Be an Oathbreaker Paladin. Your job is dickhead.
I would do Oathbreaker differently. I'm not saying that as a person publishing Dungeons and Dragons, I would do Oathbreaker differently, but there's a lot of cool shit in Oathbreaker, but I don't think I'd use it to be for the evils. You know what I mean? Like, that's so... I got over that shit in high school.
Well, it's because it's a reaction to Paladin being a much wider net.
Sure.
Because to be an Oathbreaker Paladin now, instead of just, say, changing oaths, like, if you're a Devotion Paladin, and then someone very much, like, kills your hometown, and murders your wife, and eats your kids, or whatever, you're probably just going to become a Vengeance Paladin.
Right.
To be an Oathbreaker Paladin, you kind of have to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Because there's even Conqueror. There even, like, if you decide to move to an evil deity, you can become a Conqueror Paladin. Your job kind of has to be dickhead. Like, so that is what Oathbreaker is in 5th edition, because the other options are covered by other things.
But that spell list, though. Blight, Contagion, ugh.
Hellish Rebuke is a damn good spell.
Yeah, inflict wounds, oh. I used that as a cleric, oh boy. And that Aura of Hate you were talking about.
Aura of Hate is so good. Of note, Control Undead is, I think, the most powerful feature of undead stuffing in 5th edition. Because it's only one undead as opposed to all undead in a so much radius. But if you look at a cleric's turn undead, and then you look at it caps out at like you're turning stuff way below your challenge rating, and you're destroying stuff way below your challenge rating. Control Undead is pick one undead. Is it your CR or less? Or no, is it at least one less CR than you? Congratulations, it works. That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's, if you're high enough level, oh look, a vampire lord. You work for me now. Because I fucking said so.
But something I do like about this is, and you'd have to play it carefully. You'd have to be playing... at the very least, like a Darth Vader.
And notably, mentioning better content on your content, Tulak the Barbarian made Darth Vader an Oathbreaker Paladin.
I didn't know. I haven't watched that one. But, I think that's probably the upper echelon of what you can do. You might do it a little different, a little less evil. But you still have the Paladin chassis. You still have things like Lay on Hands.
That's
you
for
still
you.
Have, or your trusted mooks.
Yeah.
Or the people that you're hanging out with because they further your cause. I think this is why I argue a lot for, and God, we've talked about this enough, I'm not going to get deep into it, but this is why I argue a lot for evil as selfishness as opposed to evil as primal. As, like, I am elementally evil.
But in D&D, some things are. That's a part of the setting.
That's
some things
true.
are made of evilum.
That's true.
They are made of evilum from the evil dimension, the evil layer.
If that's what you wanted to play, Oathbreaker Paladin is your thing. Redemption. Redemption is cool. They're the pacifist paladin.
And they would really... There are a lot of campaigns of Redemption Paladin would just fuck right up. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
They are niche. But if you've got the the space for it, like that one kind of cleric, that it's a pacifist cleric.
Or the monk that's a pacifist monk. Play a whole party of them and do nothing.
Do nothing, but somehow win.
The DM is like, guys, stop, okay? A dragon has invaded your town 6 times.
We will convince him to leave. It's fine. It's niche, but in its niche, very good. Very well done.
I recently made Robo from Dallas and Robo. Go check out our Dallas and Robo podcast, and then watch the entire series on YouTube Platinum or whatever the fuck it's called. It's fun. And I would like them to make a season 2. But I made him as a monk, and I made him, I think, open hand, just because of a lot of the basic features. But, we've also talked about doing the Rundown Rock as a fighter, I think.
Yep.
It's very much the same thing.
Yeah.
Because they're very much, I'm not going to fight you.
Until I'm going to fight you. And then you're going to fucking regret having done that.
Yeah. Treachery
is Chief Dickass of Turd Mountain.
They use specifically the terminology Blackguard a lot, and I never really looked into the old Blackguards, so I don't know how similar they are to the old Blackguards.
Me neither.
But, hey guys, did you want a Loki Paladin?
He doesn't mean like a chill paladin who doesn't really act very bombastic. He means Tom Hiddleston in a big green cloak. Because that's what you're fucking playing. You are playing that. And your job is, like, they have a feature that you get at 15th level where you can twirl your fucking mustache and escape for next week's hijinks. I love them. They have maybe one of the better capstones because you get greater invisibility for a minute for no concentration, and then if you have advantage, read as if you're invisible and attacking the enemy, you get plus 20 damage on attacks.
Also, when shit hits you, if something has the temerity to strike your invisible ass, it must make a wisdom saving throw, or you control its next action.
How dare you! Stab your friend! That's your punishment for daring to strike my beautiful form. I love them. I fucking love this paladin. This one's probably my favorite, purely because of what a fucking dick you are.
Finally, we have vengeance, and I mean, this is your
edgelord paladin.
Purge the unholy. This is your rain fire down.
This is for the emperor. Be purged in holy flame. This is that guy.
Dealing fire radiant damage to everyone around me constantly.
Oath of Enmity is a very good central feature. Once a short rest, you can just look at a motherfucker, point at him with that thing where you point at your eyes and you point at their eyes and go, tonight. You. And you mean that shit.
They're also the ones who get the fucking Wingles.
The Wingle-Wangles.
The Wingles.
They get wings.
They get wings. Huge, holy, flaming wings.
For a fucking hour, their capstone lasts.
Yeah.
Redemption is notable in that it's Redemption, the pacifist one, right? I'm not thinking of the third.
Redemption's pacifist.
Theirs is always on unless you attack someone, which is a great way to do a pacifist. That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Avenging Angel, the capstone for Vengeance Paladin, is for a fucking hour. You have a 60-foot fly speed, and you're just scary. You just radiate 30-foot scary radius.
If I played a Vengeance Paladin, I would need them to be like made of hoops and eyes.
Be not afraid!
That's what activating my Avenging Angel is. I'm here for you.
You just turn into spinning wheels and eyes.
And wings. So many unnecessary wings.
4 lion heads, a goat head.
A wing coming out of the goat head, just the one.
It flaps up and down.
Oh my god. Paladins are great. So, you said your favorite's probably the Treachery?
In terms of sheer mechanical incentive towards being a dickhead, it has to be. It's the one that is the most against type. And I really do like Paladin. I like the idea of playing a Paladin. Notably, and I've mentioned this many, many times on the podcast, one of my favorite characters in fiction is perhaps the most prototypical Paladin I've ever read. His name is Michael Carpenter. He's from the Dresden Files, and I would love to try and play that one day. I don't think I'd manage it. I'm too much of an edgelord. But in terms of just sheer mechanics, Treachery Paladin is fun.
My favorites are probably Ancients and Crown. I've been wanting to play an Ancients Paladin for a long time. It just hasn't felt like time yet. And Crown, I just really like their setup. I like their abilities. It's fun. What about your least favorite?
I guess Heroism is the most boring.
Yeah, I like Heroism. It's alright.
It's not bad. It's just the least bombastic.
That's the thing for Paladin in general. Is like none of these are bad.
No, they're all attached to Paladin. They're not bad.
Yeah, you'd have to fuck them up pretty hard. It'd be like your 20th level capstone feature is you lose hit points and all of your attacks have disadvantage. And even still,
that seems fair.
Take that level in Fighter. Fuck it. Ironically, my least favorite Paladin is Conquest, and that's the one I've played. Just to show you that, they're all good.
Yeah, least favorite doesn't mean I don't like.
Yeah.
This is one of those times where least favorite just means, literally, least favorite.
Yeah.
They're all my favorites. They're all good, smitey boys.
I'm not a big fan of fear effects, but Conquest does fear effects the fun way. 5e
does fear effects good.
Yeah, they're not bad. I mean, it's not quite as terrible as you have to run away, and you run 40 miles away. And how would you subvert a Paladin is there a way to do it outside of the existing, evil Paladin
they
classes?
give you ways. They give you 2 ways right there, done and dusted, and the 3 if you count Conquest as subverting a Paladin to do that. And for me, it would be play Loki, play a Treachery Paladin who is a goddamn Saturday morning cartoon villain. I realized why I like Treachery Paladin.
I'd like to see some more versions of Paladin. I would like to see. I mean, let's be real here. An Arthas. It's right there.
I'm so tired of him.
I don't even know that I'd want to play it. A big, scary Ice Paladin. Fucking, don't even do it Arthas style. Do it fucking Soul Calibur style.
They have, like, the Oathbreaker Paladin is that.
Just give him ice instead of fire?
Yeah, just power swap it. It's not. There's not really enough left in that conceptual space to justify another one.
Unless you went like full ice, not
unless
evil.
Unless it wasn't Arthas so much as it was like
we're reverent of the pure driven snow.
Yeah, like glacial Paladin.
Yeah, like a lot of classes, I just want to see more subclasses.
Just more variety is fine, and it's not like it's hard. Like I said,
fuck Paladin over most things. There's not that much you got to do.
No, it's pretty easy to make new Paladin subclasses. To be honest, there's not much there. They're the sauce. You already have a delicious steak in front of you. Just make something nice to go with it.
Yeah.
Get yourself a twice baked potato and some chives. There you go. Sorry, I was just thinking about steak now.
Okay. I'm regretting my lack of purchasing steak at the store earlier. Paladin time. You have to make one. It's time to play one. Paladin time. What do you play?
If I'm not trying to subvert?
Whatever you want to play. Whatever your little black heart desires.
That depends on the campaign, to be perfectly honest.
Well, yeah, and that's always the caveat.
It would either be Vengeance, because at the end of the day, I am kind of an edgelord. Treachery to be a dick, or, go for the Redemption Paladin. Give Michael a shot.
Yeah. That'd be pretty sexy.
I don't think I'd manage it, but I'd like to try. It would probably end up being Treachery, just because.
If I made a new Paladin today, I would probably go with Ancients. I'd probably do like a really hard Nature Paladin, or it might be interesting to go Oathbreaker, and try to find a place to be your token evil party member, but still working together with the group, because they got some really cool features.
Aura of Hate is good.
As much as I'm over being an edgelord in most respects,
see, they don't feel edgy to me. Oathbreaker Paladin doesn't feel like edgelordy. Vengeance Paladin feels edgelordy.
And that's, you know what? For the modern definition of edgelordy, you're absolutely right. The one who wants to rain down holy fire and purge is the edgelord. The guy who just wants to be surrounded by demons and zombies and shit probably runs a really sweet Tumblr about aesthetic posts.
Yeah, to me,
look it, there's my Oathbreaker.
There you go.
I'm not evil. I just fucking, I don't know.
Demons are cool. What
look, he's got his little eyes.
Whereas over here, fucking Vengeance Mick, I will avenge my family Stein is just in the corner sharpening his hatred boner for those who have wronged him. I will have my vengeance. That's the edgelord.
I've had a paladin in the back of my head who was deformed or sick, who was a redeemer of the mutants and the freaks of the world. Oathbreaker Paladin. Use that as a base. It's not about the fact that I'm fucking evil. It's about that I stand up for the downtrodden, and this demon is not necessarily bad. He's just trying to make his day. He eats the hearts of men.
Don't go all the way into people for the ethical treatment of demons, okay?
I'm doing it.
That's how you end up on a spike carrying a sign.
Oh, God, this podcast is weird. We solved the riddle, though. That's good. Remember that?
Ay, chica smoothie.
Say the line.
Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Nah.